Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Grandmaster, and what you'll see is all of his skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, his skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So without further ado, I give you the class Grandmaster. Here we go. And welcome to the skills slide. So if you're new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the far left is all of his skills, the names of his skills. The next column, charges, is how many times you could use that skill. The next column, hits, is how many times the skill will hit a creature or opponent. The next column, damage-PVE, is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world. And the next column, damage-PVP, is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against another player's character. And then the specials is all the specials connected to these skills. And at the bottom is your passive. So a few things to bring to your attention. The first one is the words super armor and forward guard that are colored in red in the specials section. And if you look at the legend in the bottom left corner, it just means it's not applied in arena. So everywhere else in the game it'll work, but when you're in arena, it won't work. So that's what that means. And I want to bring to your attention, if you look at the skill rising uppercut and pummel, it's like fourth. If you go to the bottom and then go up 4, it's those two skills where it says, and then all the way over to the right where it says specials, where it says max 2 attacks and max 4 attacks. I really don't know what this means, because here's my confusion. If you look at rising uppercut and it clearly says you can only use it once and it hits once, where does max of 2 attacks come in? Can you use it twice? Will it hit twice? It's really unclear. So I want you, when you're checking the character out and enjoying him, kind of figure out, be aware of it so you can figure out, oh, that's what they mean. And I will definitely understand it much later on in the game, but it's worth bringing to your attention. So take a moment to look at all these skills, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the top 8 PvE skills I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvE slide. So what I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized it under the column of damage-PVE, from the highest percentage damage all the way down to the lowest. And a section that's colored green is the 8 that I recommend, only because they are single point damage percentages. Now, what I don't know is under the hits column. Let's just take Cheap Shot for example. If you use that skill and it always hits for 6 hits and it's 6 times the 401.5% damage, that's gonna make the end result 2,400 and some percentage higher than Gale Force. And if that's true, then you might want to use that as your heavy hitting skill. However, if they all don't hit and you're noticing that, oh, well, I'm getting various damage, then that's the reason why I did what I did. Is you can always count on, if you do the skill once, getting this percentage for sure. Now, if you always hit with Hell Sweep and Cheap Shot and Full Force, then just do the math, and you will see which ones definitely hit the hardest. So take a moment to look at this, and when you are ready, we're going to move on to the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP slide. So what I've done is I've organized all the skills under the column of damage-PVP, from the highest percentage all the way down to the lowest. And the first thing I want you to know is, when you are that person that wants to PvP, you want to know what skill you can activate your super armor with. And that's the first thing I would suggest that you do so that you be protected. And if you don't know what super armor is, I will let you know on the player card section of this video, so don't worry, it's coming. Now, looking at your skills, the one that grants you super armor no matter where you're at in the game is Knee Hammer. So I would suggest you start out with that, and look, it inflicts a stun on hit. So okay, that's your starting move. Now if we take a break and we look at the passive at the bottom and just understand what that does, it decreases PvP damage while immobilized by 30% for 2 seconds. That's nice. Decrease in health, that's always nice. The next one, after using shoulder thrust, increase damage of the next skill by 35%. And then of course not applied to flow skill. I will talk about what a flow skill is in the enhancements section. So let's go right back to it. I said let's do Knee Hammer so you can get your super armor. The next thing should be shoulder thrust so you can activate the passive. And then the next skill after that should be Gale Force, your hardest hitting skill, with 35% more damage added on top of that. So it's a nice 1-2-3 combo that protects you and hits them pretty hard. So that would be my suggestion. Take a moment to look at all of these skills, and ultimately you'll be the one getting comfortable with them all, but be aware of what your passive is and how you activate it so you can do maximum damage. Alright, so once you're done looking at all this, we're going to move on to the Grandmaster's skill combos. Here we go. And welcome to the skill combo slide. So, where can you find this? If you go into the game and you tap on your skills, and then you look all the way up to the left and down, you'll see an icon that looks like a magnifying glass. You want to tap on that, and once you do, you'll bring this up. However, what I did is I put them all together for you to view on one screen. When you look at it in the game, you'll have to scroll up to see them all. So this just makes it easier. Feel free to print it out if you want, and you can have it in front of you. So how you read this is, let's just take the one at the top left, Knee Hammer, and how about that? I suggested for PvP that you start out with Knee Hammer because it gives you your super armor, and the little icon means chain. So they're saying if you do Knee Hammer, the next skill you should do is shoulder thrust. How about that? Shoulder thrust will activate your passive, and now that your passive is done, you look at shoulder thrust and they're recommending cheap shot, full force, and oh, look at that, Gale Force. That was your hardest hitting skill. That was the 1-2-3 combo I just got through telling you. So that's how you read this. However, you don't have to stick with that. This is how you read it, is if you do a certain skill, they have options for you to try. So for example, in that same column, if you look at the skill Disrespect that's in blue, after you grab them and drag them across the floor, they're saying then do shoulder thrust or cheap shot or full force or even hell sweep. Try one of them that you like, that works fast or looks cool. So this is Pearl Abyss giving you suggestions on what you can do to chain skills together for maximum damage. So take a look at all this, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to the enhancements for the Grandmaster. Here we go. And welcome to the enhancement slide. So if you're new to the enhancement slide, allow me to introduce the interface. On the far left side is all of his skills. On the far right is branch damage connected to those skills. In the middle is the 4 columns. The first, second, and fourth column are things that happen or do for your Grandmaster, positive things. And the third column is negative things that happen to the creature or opponent you're fighting. So that's the layout of how this works. Allow me to point out a few things while we're looking at this. The obvious is the first column where it says SA, that's super armor, and it's colored red because it doesn't apply in arena. You knew that from previous slides. Now the other one is Hell Sweep. It's kind of towards the middle, and if you look all the way to the right where it says heal, the reason that's colored is because you heal everywhere in the game except for Path of Glory. So that's why that's colored differently. And I should mention, sorry to kill the excitement, but the enhancements need to be unlocked. And there's a level associated with it. So you need to take skill books and apply it to this skill to unlock these enhancements. But when you do, then all of these things will happen. However, this screen allows you to focus on what you want to target. For example, if you really like the heal, then go to Hell Sweep and put skill books into Hell Sweep so that you reach the level and unlock the heal. That's how this screen works. So you don't have to figure it out what he has. You're looking at everything he has on one screen right here. It just gets better. Now the last thing to point out to you is the skill energy vacuum. The reason why I pointed that out is because super armor and forward guard are very important in Black Desert Mobile, and forward guard is a good skill. However, they're suggesting we'll replace it with super armor. And if you don't know what either of those mean, I'm going to cover it in the next slide for the player card. So take a moment to look at all these enhancements, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the player card. Here we go. And welcome to the player card. It's like a baseball card. All of the screens you saw before this are now all here on one screen. And allow me to introduce the interface to you. At the very top is the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend. That's the ones highlighted in green. And then to the right is something new. It's called immobilization. So anything that stuns, knocks your opponent down, freezes them, knocks them up in the air, anything that immobilizes them, I listed here as does it happen in green? Yes. And how many of those immobilizations do I have with a number? So looking at the Grandmaster, he has 2 of them that definitely you should be aware of, and that's full force and rising uppercut, because there's 2 immobilizations, and the more the better is always nice. But overall, wow, everything that he has except for Pummel and Grandmaster's Call. Pummel is a standard basic attack, and Grandmaster's Call purpose is to heal you. So it's understood that you're not going to immobilize anyone with those things. So looking at below this is all of the skills that you saw, and then below that is the enhancements you just got through seeing. And now at the bottom, let's talk about forward guard and super armor. The definition for forward guard is this means incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. So this is very important. And super armor, this means that incoming damage will be reduced, and effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. Now we don't know what that duration is when super armor is active on your character. There's no icon, there's no timer to let you know, hey, your super armor is about out. That's why everyone who does PvP rotates and does super armor, a skill, super armor again to refresh, another skill, and they keep it in their rotation. So that's why it's important. It's so that somebody can't catch them off guard and knock them down or immobilize them. Now forward guard, what this is like, imagine a wall in front of your character, and imagine curving the right and left side of the wall to be like a lens. That is forward guard. As long as your opponent is in front of you, that damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. Now, why am I explaining all this in detail? It's because for the Grandmaster, we're going to look at his skill Energy Vacuum. Energy Vacuum gives you forward guard while using this skill. So you know, okay, I will get used to having this wall in front, and when I battle people, I'll make sure that they're in front of me and not behind me or to the right or left side of me, so that, haha, you're not damaging me if nothing at all, and I can damage you. However, if you look at the enhancements and you will unlock Energy Vacuum for super armor, they're saying, let's take away that forward guard and give you super armor instead. So if you like super armor, which is the ability to not be immobilized, and you see the value in that, then that's the reason why you should focus on going to unlock it. So I wanted to point out these skills and these definitions so you understand what they are and how it plays a role in the Grandmaster. So take a look at all of this, and when you're ready, the music is gonna change, and we're gonna go on to a gameplay video where we showcase what the Grandmaster can do. And welcome to the gameplay video. Before we get started, let's show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we're over here at Kron Castle entrance, and we're here because their CP is 2519 and ours is 4386. He's gonna be fine. So the way that this works is we'll use our auto path and we'll have him fight for about 2 or 3 minutes, at which time we'll go back to town. I'll give my outro and say thank you. So without further ado, I give you the class Grandmaster. Here we go. Just about ready to head back to town. Let's just give him a moment here. And there we go. So allow me to take this moment to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, let people know I'm always making more videos, and there are a lot of videos left to do. So let's go ahead and get him in a nice position so we could showcase him. A little trick with the wall where the camera zooms in. There we go. And let's see if we can do that a little bit better. Let's move our Grandmaster around. You know, I think it was today I realized there is a zoom feature, I just haven't been using it, but this will do just fine. So once again, thank you so much. You have a great night. Take care. Bye now.